Hi, my name is Idonia, and this is Ketchup You Must, and I'm here with my co-host Roosevelt.
Howdy.
So, Roosevelt, how you been feeling since the coronavirus pandemic has been happening?
You mean epidemic? It's been, pandemic actually. It's been, pretty different. Alone, boring,
Have you been quarantining? Like, how's it affected you? Like, some people have been able to enjoy it, some people haven't. Some people, it's been bothering them. They've trying to find things to do, more jobs and stuff.
Yeah, well, I tend to be alone all the time, so, I enjoy the time by myself, not being bothered. It is kind of awkward just to go on the streets and not see people really there, but, other than that, this self-quarantine is pretty relaxing more than anything.
Yeah, with it being such a crazy spreading virus, a lot of people have been voicing their opinions, and within the NBA, LeBron James is a popular person that's been voicing his opinion. He personally didn't feel comfortable having no audience, especially with no fans in the audience to cheer him on during games.
So he was about to hear crickets in the background. Creak, 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 creak.
He basically said that he didn't want to play any games if that was the case. And then also, he said that he is no longer giving high fives for the rest of his life. And I have a quote from CBS basically saying, he said, "I ain't high-fiving nobody for the rest of my life after this." He also says, "No more high-fiving. Wait till you see me and my teammates' handshakes after this." So I wonder what he's going to be doing. Probably not touching people, obviously, because Air Fives, yeah, definitely.
Something completely different.
Or maybe kind of like NFL, how they do little dances and stuff together.
Yeah.
Maybe do that.
True.
One thing I also saw is that as of April 1st, there was 12 NBA players tested positive for coronavirus, and one of them was Kevin Durant, which is also known as KD, which is a very popular name in NBA. How do you feel about that? Like, how do you think this is affecting in terms of not just like sports, but as a whole, if they're seeing like all these celebrities have to be quarantined too?
Well, I feel as if they need to be quarantined, they're living their best life. Like, other than them not being able to, work, be on the court, or, enjoy the sport that they love to do, they still get the chance just to relax just like us.
Very true. I know LeBron was definitely expressing his feelings in terms of the fact that when he goes to games, he basically said that he likes to have audience members there because he feels as if the people who aren't his fans on his team, when he beats another team, he's also beating those fans. So it gives him...
It's a champion sport.
Yeah.
Like...
Very competitive.
It's very, very competitive, You have the people in the crowds that's cheering you on to dunk, to get a shot, and, not just to stand there and look nice.
Very true, very true. So, let's talk about a different sport. A sport that you actually are familiar with and you like. Let's talk about hockey. Even though the hockey season ended before the coronavirus started becoming a huge issue, we noticed that a lot of the NHL players were being quarantined, which showed something else happening, which you mentioned to me before.
Yeah, a lot of them are no longer playing on the ice anyways, especially for the fact that, the seasons are changing. The coronavirus is preventing most of the teams from actually being able to practice. Right now, they just put out a ban for self-quarantine for all the players. So not one player is able to be on the ice
And you also mentioned before to me that for some reason now they're seeing an increase in dogs and pets for these players.
Since a lot of them are home now, they've been going to shelters and actually adopting pets, according to ESPN.
That's very interesting because I thought that, you know, it would make sense that since them being in the house, they're gonna want some type of companionship, especially if there's players who live by themselves or don't have family to be in quarantine with. Which is another thing. There's a lot of people who might not have relatives or might not have siblings or children or a spouse or someone that they're talking to in the house with them. So a lot of people are by themselves in some cases. So a lot of mental health comes an aspect as well, which is what some people talked about, voicing their opinion on social media, seeing it through their platform. I noticed Twitter has been a popular platform, but an interesting thing that's happened lately is that Rex Chapman has been in the media, especially on Twitter, and he had a viral Easter video, which he wasn't in, but something that happened in the video was very funny.
Oh, the video with his dog tackling his kid.
Yeah, definitely showed
pretty funny.
It definitely showed a lot of football skills.
Yeah, that dog was the next linebacker.
Yeah, and I think it was more funny because they played it back. So it was kind of like on repeat, just playing back and forth. So it was pretty funny, and that blew up. And he just if people don't know, Rex Chapman was also a former NBA player. But that video was released on Easter, which he is quarantining with his family as well. So
pretty sure they're enjoying their time right now.
Yeah, some people actually said that they didn't remember today was Easter just because of everything going on with quarantine.
You know, that's crazy because honestly, I did not even check on my phone to see if it was Easter today.
Yeah,
it's very true. I forgot all about it.
Yeah, I completely forgot about it too. I was thinking more of it being Sunday and not Easter, but yeah, that wraps up our segment for today, talking about quarantine and coronavirus and how it affects some of the sports going on. And we will talk to you on a different segment.